Vanakkam. In the last session, we discussed the parameters at MRP1 view and created MRP1 view for the business case materials. As a next step, we must create the MRP2 view. In this session, we will discuss various parameters in the MRP2 view and create the views for the business case materials. Before going to the session, let us see the answers for the quiz we discussed in the last session. What is the purpose of MRP group? MRP group is used to group all the materials from the MRP point of view. This is to assign special control parameters for the planning run. For each MRP group, control parameters like planning strategy, those kind of things will be assigned. These things are customized in MRP if they are deviated from the plant level parameters. What are the different MRP types? The three different MRP types are deterministic procedures, consumption-based planning, and demand-driven MRP. Which MRP view is used to maintain parameters to integrate procurement and planning? That is MRP2 view. Where do we maintain material classification? That is ABC classification. That is in MRP1 view. Which MRP types update reorder points automatically? They are VM and V2. Which reorder point MRP types consider external requirements? V1 and V2, they consider external requirements. Is DDMRP mandatory for all manufacturing organizations? No. Traditional MRP will satisfy most of the requirements if the concepts are properly applied. But in highly volatile situations, DDMRP can be applied. What are the three levels of MRP areas defined? Plant level MRP area, storage level MRP area, and subcontracting level MRP area. Is safety stock considered while planning reorder MRP type? No. Safety stock is used to calculate reorder points only. It is considered during planning. It is not considered during planning, but it is used to calculate the reorder point. That's it. At the same time, while doing exception analysis, safety stock will be a good indicator to understand the stock level and take proactive steps. What is the purpose of planning time fence? Planning time fence helps to define the range within which material requirement planning does not create or delete any procurement proposals. This will ensure to have the system stability within the time fence so that the variations for suppliers or variations for manufacturing will be restricted to some extent. We continue the course with a discussion on the MRP2 view. So far, we created basic data 1 and basic data 2. They are organization independent. And then we created purchasing view, that is the plant specific parameter. And then we created MRP1 view, that is the plant specific and storage location specific. Now we are going to create MRP2, that is also plant specific and storage location specific. More care must be taken to maintain the parameters in MRP views because they directly affect the inventory and customer service. As discussed, MRP has 4 views: MRP1 for planning parameters, MRP2 related to procurement and manufacturing related parameters, MRP3 for planning strategy, availability check, configuration of the product details, MRP4 to cover manufacturing related details like BOM explosion, production version, repetitive manufacturing, etc. I am repeating these things again and again because these things you should be thoroughly it should be thorough in your mind because this is the basic for any MRP concept. And MRP2 is the view which you are going to discuss now. MRP2 view contains the procurement related parameters to define the type of procurement, what should be the lead time for scheduling, and also the safety stock for net requirement calculations. So MRP view has the sections like procurement section, scheduling section, and net requirement calculation section. Now let us see some key differences between internally produced items and externally procured items in MRP2 view. For externally procured items, procurement type F will be used. For internally produced items, procurement type E will be used. At the same time, special procurement type will be applied as per the procurement strategy for procurement separately and production separately. Those things we'll discuss later. And then production storage location. Production store location will be used to receive the material into stock in case it is internally produced. At the same time, the same field production store location will be used as a source storage location if material must be consumed through backflush. And then external procurement store location is the default store location to receive the materials procured externally. And then for externally procured items, planned delivery lead time is used to define the lead time in calendar days. For in-house production items, in-house production time is used to define the lead time in working days. For both types, that is the internal production or external procurement, goods visit processing time will be the common field. Procurement type field defines whether to procure the materials internally or externally, or we can do as a both option. There is a possibility to restrict the procurement type based on the material type. See, when you are filling this field, the procurement type with X, that is, the metal can be procured internally and also externally, and then system will consider the internal production on priority. So care must be taken while defining X as the procurement type. Special procurement field defines how exactly the procurement will happen. Based on the procurement type, special procurement type has to be defined based on how we are going to procure the material. That we will discuss now. When MRP runs, if there is a requirement, the system gives either of the following options. That is, F, it is for external procurement, that is purchase, E as an internal procurement. When the option is selected, the system assumes in-house production if the X indicator is given. That is what we discussed earlier. The combination of procurement type and the special procurement type enables the system to precisely give the right procurement proposal. For example, if we take external procurement F, if the special procurement type is blank, then it is a outright purchase. If 10 is used as the special procurement type, then it is a consignment purchase. If 30 is used as a special procurement type, it is subcontracting purchase. If 40 is used as special procurement type, it is interplant purchase. If 45 is used as special procurement type, it is a stock transfer reservation from plant to MRP area. In case of in-house production procurement type, if blank is used as special procurement type, then it is a regular production. If 50 is used as procurement, the in-house production, special procurement type, then it will be a phantom production. What is phantom production? Those things we'll discuss later when you are discussing on the MRP, then production, orders, those kind of concepts. And another field is production store location. Here this specifies that which is the store location the metal will be received when it is produced, right? For that it will be used. At the same time, if it is going to be the component to be consumed in a production, then from which location it has to be consumed when the backflush indication is given there. That also will be used in this production store location. And then the store location for external procurement. This field is used to determine when you are buying the material to which store location material has to be received. That is the purpose this store location is created. And this is copied into purchase requisition, purchase order automatically when they are created. And then backflush. Backflush is the indicator which specifies whether we want to issue the metal manually or automatically, to the production orders. So when this field is blank, it assumes that the metal will be issued manually through production order. If we select the field value as 1, then the backflush has to be entered in BOM. If we enter the backflush indicator here as 2, then the indicator will be telling that it will be based on the backflush indicator from work center. Either different values are there, right? So we have to select it accordingly. So backflush indicator, it enables goods issue simultaneously when you confirm the operations, so which automatic confirmations. That time consumption also will happen automatically. The backflush can happen in metal master, work center, or components and routing. And if it is not defined in any master, then we can update manually in production order also, but that is applicable to that production order only. Okay. So just to have an overview how the backflush is working. If the backflush is indicated in metal master, yes, it will backflush will happen automatically. If it is not in metal master, but if it is backflush defined in work center, backflush will happen. If not, no. Then if the backflush is defined in routing, that time yes, backflush will happen, otherwise no. Then backflush in production order also. So various places we can keep it depending on the situation. For example, the same material, maybe you want to have a backflush automatically for one product or one work center, but you don't want it to happen automatically in another work center or another production order. That time you want to decide it manually to issue the material. So you can select it based on the thing. It's not that commonly you have to fix a backflush for one material. Always it has to happen. So based on the BOM, based on work center, BOM routing, we can define these different options, right? So here let us start with the planned delivery lead time. Planned delivery time is the procurement lead time which is maintained for externally procured items. So this is the time required or the time between releasing the purchase order and until we receive the goods receipt. So this is the material which includes the transit time also, right? The planned delivery time includes the transit time also. So these are mentioned in calendar days. Please be careful. These are in calendar days. And this planned delivery time does not include GR processing time. Goods receipt processing time is not included here. So what is goods receipt processing time? Goods receipt processing time is defined in number of working days. Please see here, it is defined in working days. But planned delivery time is in calendar days. So the GR processing time is the time at which the material received into the plant from then until it is going into the stock. That is the GR processing time. It includes unloading material, quality inspection, then moving to the stock, all those things which are involved. So there should be continuous effort to reduce the GR processing time. And this GR processing time is it is mentioned for purchasing items and purchasing view itself. For in-house production items, we have to mention in this view. Next, let us see what is the in-house production time. In-house production is the time which is required to produce a metal in-house. Please note that this is not the cycle time of production. This is the general number of days of production of a material from the date of issue of production order and completion. It is used for scheduling purpose. Again, please note it is in working days. And then schedule margin key. So schedule margin key, the field is define the floats to be used in the planning and also scheduling to propose the orders. So it contains opening period. So what is opening period? Opening period is the time required to process the planned order to production order or purchase requisition to purchase order, etc. So this is the administrative time. For example, your planned order is created, you want to convert it to production order, that may take 1 day or 2 days, right? Then that is the time you have to build in here, that is the opening period. And then we have two floats, float after production, float before production. So these floats are the lead time in production to have advanced procurement of materials, and these may increase the inventory also, right? So we should try to reduce this opening period, the float times also. Release period is the time required to release the purchase order or production order. So supplier or manufacturer will know the requirement well in advance to plan their activities. Any number of schedule margin key can be customized based on supplier, manufacturing, criticality of the material, etc. And please note that the schedule margin key is the thing which is useful to the planners to administratively and effectively to plan their activities. But at the same time, it should not be misused to have more time in this that may lead to increase in our inventory. Please be careful in using this. So external procurement proposals for the planned delivery lead time. So these things, the planned delivery time is mentioned here in Metal Master, but it is also maintained in other master data like purchasing info record. So when it is maintained in purchase info record, that will be taken priority when the plan is carried out. And if it is not in any master, then we can update this planned delivery time in the purchase order also, but that is applicable only for the purchase order. The scheduling of external procurement is working as following. What is that? So if you have a requirement date, then it will remove that, it will calculate what is the GR processing time. From that date, it is arriving at GR date. From GR date, it is considering the planned delivery time and the purchase department processing time. That is calculated as a release date. And then from there, opening period is calculated, that is opening period. So when you see the dates, these dates are arrived in this logic. So we have to understand that where the date gap is more, how the date has come, if you want to reduce some dates, where to reduce the date. So you have to analyze all these details. Meantime, SAP has provided one important transaction which is called WPDTC. This will help to analyze what is the delivery time maintained in Metal Master, what is the delivery time in Info Record, what is the actual delivery time based on the purchase order receipts. All these things we can compare, analyze, and then fine tune the details as per the business process. Then in-house production time. So in-house production time is that time required for scheduling activities. So this is maintained in MRP2 view as a lot size independent. But the same time can be maintained in work scheduling view also in different format. Like we can define what is the base quantity. For that, what is the setup time required, what is the processing time required, and the inter-operating time required. So this planned delivery, sorry, in-house production time maintained in MRP2 view is used for basic date determination in MRP run. So this is one of the things we have to consider when we check how the scheduling is happening for production orders. Again, production orders also will be the scheduling will happen from the available date, which is the requirement date, and GR processing time. From there, the in-house production time, what is there in MRP2 view, or it is in the work scheduling view, and then opening period. Again, please understand these are all the parameters considered when the schedule time or the basic time are calculated in system. When you analyze, please keep these things in mind. And the next important parameter is a planning calendar. Planning calendar is to have a flexible period length. For example, a vendor is delivering a goods every second Wednesday. And then if you want to release the orders at any time, but the material has to be delivered on this date only, means you can define a planning calendar like this. So that will be starting on the Wednesday, ending on the Tuesdays 2 weeks later. So like this we can define this planning calendar, and that can be assigned to a specific material. So that material whenever it is planned and released, the receipt will be planned in those dates only. There are many suppliers, no? They will tell that I will release only on the second Wednesday, or I will give on this specific date only. So to have this kind of flexibilities, planning calendar can be used. To start with safety stock. So safety stock is what? Safety stock is to manage the fluctuation in the demand and supply. It is acting like a buffer. If there is any disturbances in supply, or if there is any sudden increase in demand, so we need to have some stock. That is the purpose of having the safety stock. And what is defined here is a static safety stock. And one more thing, there is a parameter called safety stock availability, which is not here, which can be configured. Safety stock availability means if you are defining a safety stock of 100 numbers, and if there is a requirement which is just pulling the safety stock of 99 numbers or 98 numbers, these kind of small changes, if the system is creating MRP proposals, that will be a lot of small kind of lots will be created, or if the big lot size is there, then the big order will be created. So for this kind of the small changes, up to some level, we may insist the system not to consider the safety stock, which means that 10% of variation or 5% of the safety stock, if there is a change, system should not trigger the safety stock. Like that, we can define it. So if you are having a safety stock defined here 100 numbers, if you define as 10% as the safety stock availability, then until 90 is reaching, system will not create any triggering the new requirement. After 90, if the stock is below 90 only, it will create the new requirement. Like that also we can define. This will give some stability, and it also to avoid frequent creation of the procurement proposals. Next level is called the service level. The service level means what is the minimum quantity of material we need to have to ensure a certain percentage of service to the customer. For example, we may have a service level of 90%, means 90% of the time metal should be available. For that, we need to have a safety stock. That is the meaning here. At the same time, any increase in this service level will also increase the safety stock. And up to some percentage level, the increase in safety stock will be very less. Please see the graph given here. So up to 95%, the increase in safety stock is less. From 95 to 97.5, it is little higher. But 97.5 to 98.8, the increase is more. 98.8 to 99.4, it is very high increase. See that from 200, it is going up to 800 for the 97.5 to 99.4. This means we cannot have 100% assurance that always we should have the materials using this safety stock calculation method. So service levels, normally it's better to maintain 95%. And this field is also used to arrive at the safety stock when we are calculating the reorder point automatically. And there is another factor called minimum safety stock. This is the lower limit of safety stock, beyond which if the stock is coming down, then we should get the alert. That is the purpose of this. And this is also used while calculating the safety stock through forecasting process. Next is the coverage profile. This is the range of coverage profile. It contains a parameter for calculating the dynamic safety stock. So dynamic safety stock is calculated by the formula shown here, average daily requirement into range of coverage. So here this is calculated depending on the requirements within the specific period and the range of coverage as shown here. So that instead of having a static safety stock, this safety stock will be changing based on the requirement and also the range of coverage. So this will be having any sudden increase or decrease in requirements, accordingly safety stock will change. And then safety time indicator. This means that if you want to bring some materials, instead of keeping safety stock, I want to buy the metal in advance. Like that, if you want to have it, we can use the safety stock indicator. So here there are three options there. Either we don't follow any safety time, or we use it's only for independent requirement, or we can use it for all requirements. So once we trigger this, we have to define number of days. This is defined here. So I mean how many times or what is the coverage that safety stock should be in advance. That can be covered in this field. And also we can define the period profile for the safety time. For example, which is the to and from date, the safety time, what is actual coverage is valid, no, from which date it is valid, those kind of things we can define in the profile. So these are configured in the settings. That the profile can be updated here to trigger the safety time indicator. Now let us see the MRP2 view creation. So the transaction code to create any view is, as we discussed, it is MM01. So here I am going to create view for S003 CP1001, and here MRP2 view is required. So we select it, make it as a default setting, and then I go inside. Here we see the plant and the store location organization, that also make it as default and go inside. And now there is no MRP1 view for this metal already because which is not created. So we have to create those items. So now this is because this is S03. Last session we created this for S002. So we update the MRP type, then update the store MRP controller S04, and then we update the lot sizing procedure, that is the weekly lot size, and then we put what is the minimum lot size, that is 15, and then the maximum lot size 60, rounding value 15, because the reference metal TRNG CP101 it is having these details. Then we go to MRP2 view. Now we want to refer the material, so let us go and open the training TRNG CP101 in the another screen. So we go there and open that material TRNG CP1001. So here let us see the details maintained in the MRP2 view. So let us go to the MRP2 view. So here we have the details like procurement type, production store location, then standard location for store location for external procurement. Let us fill those details. So here it is 171 1A store location, and then for external procurement also we use the same store location, and also there is a backflush indicator with the value 1. That is what we see in the reference material, training material. Backflush is 1. So let us use the backflush 1. See here we see always backflush or work center based. Here I am selecting always backflush. It means it will be applicable for all the work center, and also it is explained here. See, one means routing, it is defined, or material master we can define, or we can define in the work center also. Please go through these kind of help messages which are there in system so that you can learn a lot. And then there is a because this is externally procured, we have to put the plant delivery lead time, that is 5 days, and also safety stock is 20 days, and service level 90%. So let us update those details here. Okay, here it is 20, and then the service level is 90%. Let us fill. These are some numbers we are taking. Okay, I'm just comparing those numbers, because always please better create the material in line with the reference material, so that whenever you have anything we can see. So now we completed MRP2. System is asking to save and come out. So we save and come out. So with this S003 CP101 is created. That is what because the new view is created. So with that MRP2 view is created. So please create all the views whenever. See, as per the business case what we defined, who are having the public server also. We discussed the business case already. According to that, please create all those data for practice purpose later. In this session, we discussed procurement parameters, scheduling parameters, net requirement calculation parameters. In procurement, we discussed what is procurement type, special procurement type parameters, production store location, location for external procurement, backflush, scheduling like in-house production time, plant delivery lead time, GR processing time, planning calendar, schedule margin key, their impact on scheduling, how scheduling is carried out, and how net requirement calculation is done, how safety stock is used for these things, how safety stock availability is done, service level, and a minimum safety stock. Like this, we discuss various parameters in MRP2 view in this session. Okay, let us refresh our understanding with some quiz questions. For subcontracting items, what are all the procurement type and special procurement type? Special procurement type is applicable only for externally purchased items, true or false. Windows production time is defined in calendar days. Is it true or false? What is the purpose of schedule margin key? What is the purpose of safety stock? When service level is high, more safety stock has to be maintained. True or false? Backflush can be defined in Metal Master only. True or false? What is the purpose of production store location in MRP2 view? Goods receipt processing time is different for purchase and production functions in the same Metal Master. True or false? So let us see the answers in the next session. So as part of the assignment, please create MRP2 view for all materials as per the business case, and please refer to the training materials, TRNG materials, and adopt the same parameters so that for the results and the later practices we can refer those materials, and also we can align our practices accordingly. So after understanding various parameters in MRP2 view in this session, we will discuss the parameters in MRP3 view in the next session. Meanwhile, create the MRP2 view for all the materials we discuss in the business case, and whatever the clarifications you need, please put them in the comments section. They will be answered then and there. Meanwhile, please refer to your friends and colleagues to subscribe to the channel so they also get the benefit of this knowledge sharing session. And if you would like to hire the dedicated server to practice along with me, contact me at the following email address. Thank you. See you in the next session. Take care. Bye.